What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna work on the wheels of Little Monster. As you've seen in the previous video, the rims were very dirty. They didn't hold any pressure, and also I destroyed the inner tube for the front wheel. So the best thing that we can do is go tubeless. So I got these valves right here to put inside the rims and totally delete the inner tire, at least in the front one, because in the back there was no inner tire. It was already tubeless, but because the rim was so dirty, it didn't hold any pressure. So we are gonna mount these tires again, get them all mocked up. On both wheels I'm gonna put on the disc brakes and the sprocket on the back wheel. I'm gonna have to make my own bolts because the ones that I got are a little bit too long. I also have to clean out the threads. So it's gonna be a lot of fun, a lot of progress. And when we are ready with the wheels, I'm gonna put it on the bike and get the front brake mounted so we have stopping power. Now to be sure that I don't have any leaks on these wheels, I'm gonna use some silicone. This is a liquid gasket. It is high temp. I'm gonna use this on the valves itself. I'm not gonna use it on the beads of the tire. I'm just gonna use it on the valve, so that is totally sealed up. Now you could say this is a waste of money. This stuff is fairly expensive. Now this is the 16-year-old. When I first made the ciao, I sealed up with this. I already got new ones when I did the RCX project. So I'm gonna use this 16-year-old one just to use it up. And for this, it's not really that important that it's high temp or that it seals up. The valves will seal up by themselves, but I just wanna put this on just for good measure. Also, I cleaned up the shop. As you will see when I walk around in this video, some stuff will be shifted. We have our whiteboard right there. If I have to explain something, we can write it all down. My welder is moved. It used to be right here, now it's over there. Cleaned up the shop a little bit because we have something coming, but that is for another video. So let's get started on these wheels, mount them, seal them, do whatever, pump them up, make them ready to go on the bike. So she's all back together now. We got a chain on, we got the wheels on. Well, I have to lie, she's not all back together. We don't have any brakes. Even the front brake is not connected. As I told you before, I'm gonna connect the front brake first and worry about the back brake later. Now, as you saw, I had to grind down the bolts to reconnect the disc brake and the sprocket. And here is my calculations. The brake is 2.1 thick. The bolt bolts in 9.5. The washers are 1.1. And the locking washer is 1.3, and I did the whole calculation and I came out to 20. That was the size of my bolts, and I found a nice solution to grind down the bolts evenly. I just took a piece of tube where I can fit a bolt in. It's a hole, and this is exactly 20 mils long. So as you saw, I put in a bolt, grind it down, and I have the perfect measurements every single time. After I finished everything, I wanted to see if the wheel kept turning. As you know, we have a clutch problem. We need stronger springs. So I started up the bike and it died almost immediately just because it's gripping the clutch and it dies and it don't has any power. So yeah, we really need those springs. So as you can see, the wheel rotates freely. It's nice and smooth. And as you can see from the tire, what is this? Maybe a little burnout? Yeah, I did a small little burnout over here. This is not dust, this is tire. Couldn't help myself. Now, when I was riding, it was really tough. It got a lot of speed, but it had to creep up to there, so it's not really pulling. So the springs are gonna help with that, so I'm gonna have to order that really quickly. But I couldn't stop and I almost hit my car and the gate and whatever. It was really a mess. I dragged my feet on the ground to make me stop, but that is not a good idea. So first of all, we need to get that brake back on there. So this is the brake that I'm gonna install. I'm not really gonna open it up because it doesn't have any wear or tear that I can see. The brake pads look thick enough. So I'm just gonna install it back on the bike, remove the back cable, put the front cable back on there, and then we're gonna take it for a ride one more time, and hopefully it's a much more pleasant ride than before because it was really sketchy. So let's just start with putting on the front brake. That was a lot of fun, but it was pretty hard as well. As you saw, the bike performs mediocre in my opinion. I mean, the throttle response could be better, but as I told you, it's all about the clutch. If we have those stronger springs, the engine can rev up even more and we have more power. Now at low RPM, the clutch already engages and we don't get enough power, so we really need those springs to make the bike perform better. I don't want to mess with the carb right now because I think it's a little bit rich, but I'm not really sure. Now the front brake works, but I had to bet it in. It wasn't performing in the beginning like it should, but at the end, when the brake pads were clearly contacting the brake disc, it started working much more better. Now, to be safe, I want a rear brake on this. Don't know how I'm gonna do it with this setup. Maybe I'm gonna have to buy 2 new brake levers with a smaller base right here. Then it could work, but I'm not really sure on how and when and whatever that is gonna happen. What I also tried is a little bit of a knee down. Like you see in MotoGP, the guys lean over on the bike and their knee scrapes on the track. I tried that. I cannot do it on my sports bike, but I tried it on this and it's really hard. You think it's just leaning down, but there's a lot more to it. And of course, with the engine not performing as its best, it's a little bit harder as well. But I got pretty close. My shoes were scraping on the floor, but not my knee, and it wouldn't be wise to go full knee down without knee pads. So yeah, maybe not want to do that in the near future. Now with that experience, there's something on the bike that I have to do to knee down on the left side. On the right side, no problem. Left side, little bit of a problem. When you want to knee down, you can't have your foot right here. That is too much. The angle, yeah, not a good idea. So what you have to do is put your foot all the way here. Now you can do that with here because there's no obstruction. You can hit the tire, but if you are careful enough, you can do it like this. But on this side, we have the whole chain. Now you can't do that right here. You will hit the chain. So what I'm gonna do, there was a cover right here. Here it is. Some flimsy metal. This was right here to protect the chain, but it's too flimsy. If I would put my foot on that, it would bend immediately. So what I'm gonna have to do is make a plate, probably out of aluminum, to put over here and go over here so I can put my foot all the way down here without touching the chain. So I'm gonna have to make that detachable. There are 2 points on here already where I can bolt it to, but I'm gonna put a point right here so it's pretty sturdy. Don't know how I'm gonna make it, but yeah, this needs to be here. I'm not really concerned here. That is not a big issue. To go knee down, there needs to be a plate right here. So yeah, these are the finishing touches on the bike. Of course, we're gonna have to paint it, I know, but I'm gonna do that in the summer. First, we're gonna have some fun. Maybe something will break. Maybe something needs to be changed. Who knows? I mean, building this bike a whole different way than it was intentionally, and doing stuff that wasn't intentionally either. I mean, this was just to cruise around, not go knee down. I think the designers of this bike didn't have that in mind, but I want to do it, so I'm gonna have to scale it up a little bit. But we're coming at the end of this build and we're gonna have to start thinking about other stuff. I don't know what I'm gonna do next. I have so many bikes that I can work on, but yeah. So that is gonna be it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter and on Instagram. And if you're not already subscribed yet, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it and I will see you in the next one.